Cosette, are you about ready for bed? What's that? You want to stay up a little bit longer and look out of the lamp at the moon and the stars? That does sound like a really fun idea. Maybe we could do that together. Oh, hello, welcome boys and girls to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. Cosette and I, at least I am, feeling a little tired. And we were just talking about, before going to bed, how we like to look up at the moon and the stars, especially in the winter time, because the sky is just that much more clear. And on a cold, crisp evening, it's really beautiful to see the moon and the stars, especially if you happen to have snow on the ground and it glistens and sparkles. It's just so pretty. We really enjoy it, don't we, Cosette? Well, today's story features another creature who enjoys that beautiful smiley moon. Would you like to go and read it with us now? Okay, let's do the magic together. Rub our hands together and say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we go. Welcome boys and girls to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys story times. Today I have for you a book by Gillian Lobel and Tim Warnes called Little Honey Bear and the Smiley Moon. I hope that you enjoy it. Little Honey Bear couldn't sleep. Through his bedroom window the moon was shining as bright as day. The snowy woods glimmered in the brilliant moonlight, and surely the moon was smiling at him. Why, hello, moon, cried Little Bear, and he rushed out into the glittering woods. There in the moonlight was Lily Longears making snow hairs. Hello, Little Honey Bear, said Lily. Couldn't you sleep either? Oh, Lily, said Little Bear. The moon sailed right in front of my window, and she smiled at me. Me too, said Lily. She's so big and smiley tonight, I just had to come out to say hello. She showered Little Bear with snow. Catch me if you can, she cried, and darted away through the trees. They ran through the moonlit woods into a wide, snowy meadow. High above hung the moon, and right across the frozen meadow ran a shining silver pathway. It's a pathway to the moon, cried Little Bear. Just think, Lily, we could walk all the way to the moon and say hello. Little Honey Bear, squeaked a tiny voice. Can I come too? Of course you can, teeny tiny mouse, said Little Bear. So off along the moon path went the three friends. What shall we do when we get to the moon? Asked Lily. We shall have tea, said Little Bear, and mooncakes and moon juice. What are mooncakes like, Little Honey Bear? Asked Tiny Mouse. Why, they're round and flat and silvery, said Little Bear, and very sweet, of course. Let's go then, squeaked Tiny Mouse. Suddenly the night grew colder. A crisp wind whipped the snow into little flurries. The path to the moon grew steeper and steeper. It's an awfully long way to the moon, gasped Tiny Mouse. My little paws are freezing. So Little Bear scooped Tiny Mouse onto his paw and set him on his big shoulder. That's much better, said Tiny Mouse, tucking his toes into Little Bear's thick furry coat. My paws are happy now. Up and up ran the moon path toward the very top of the hill. Snowflakes stung their eyes and whirled into their ears. Do you think we'll get there soon, Little Honey Bear? Gasped Lily. My ears are getting rather cold. As she spoke, a great cloud blew in front of the moon, and the moon path disappeared. Suddenly, it was very dark. I don't like it, Little Honey Bear, said Lily. I don't like it at all. I don't think I want to go to the moon after all, said Tiny Mouse. Even for mooncakes. So off they set down the hill. Down and down they slipped and slithered until they reached the woods. Perhaps the moon is cross and doesn't want to see us after all, said Little Honey Bear. I want to go home, quavered Tiny Mouse. Me too, gasped Lily. But everything looked different in the dark, and they couldn't find their way home. The trees creaked and groaned, and the woods were full of shadows. I think we're lost, sniffed Little Bear, and I want my mommy. Suddenly, a silvery light flooded the woods, and up above, bobbing between the trees, the smiling moon appeared. Hooray! Everyone cried. And then the moonlight fell upon a big, furry bear. Her arms opened wide as she ran toward them. Oh, Little Honey Bear, I'm so glad I found you, cried Mommy Bear. And she gave them all a very big bear hug. "Oh, Mommy," said Little Bear, "we were going to have tea with the moon, but then she got cross with us and hid." "And we didn't get to drink moon juice," sighed Tiny Mouse. "Or taste mooncakes," said Lily sadly. Mother Bear smiled as she took them all back to the warm bear house for a special moon supper with golden honey cakes and warm milk to drink. "The moon wasn't cross. She was there all along," she said. "Only the clouds were hiding her." "Mommy," said Little Bear later, as she tucked him up in his bed, "I did so very much want to go and see the moon." "Why, Little Bear, we don't need to go to the moon to see her. She's all around us." Little Honey Bear looked through the window. Every tree was hung with 1,000 glassy rainbows in the bright moonlight, and then the moon sailed through the trees and smiled at him. "Good night, Moon," said Little Bear, rubbing his eyes. Then he turned over and fell fast asleep. The end. What did you think of Little Honey Bear and the Smiley Moon? Have you ever tried to chase the moon? Or the sun, for that matter? I think it's quite impossible for us to catch up with them, isn't it? But it's fun to make believe and pretend that maybe we could reach the moon or the sun. Oh, well, maybe you'll grow up to be an astronaut and go on a rocket ship and you'll reach the moon, huh? Or Mars. That would be very cool, wouldn't it? So, we have finished our story, which means it's now time for us to go and do something else fun together. Are you ready to do that with me now? Okay, let's go. All right, boys and girls, for today's activity, we're going to make this 3D moonscape winter scene. I hope that you enjoy it. The first thing you will need is a sheet of black construction paper, 2 greens. If you have different color greens, that's really nice because it'll make your trees have some variation and look different, and 2 pieces of white paper as well. Now, since I'm using computer paper and construction paper, they are not square, so we're going to have to do a little bit of trimming work to make some of the pieces square. But let's start with step 1. As you can see me doing here, I am cutting out kind of a hilly white landscape that I'm going to use to glue over the black construction paper to represent some white hills of snow. And I'm just going and freestyling this how I like it. As you can see, my white computer paper is shorter than my black construction paper, so I'm using 2 pieces of white. And then I'm just going to simply use a glue stick and glue those right down on top of the black construction paper. When you have finished gluing your white hills onto your black construction paper, you're then going to take and make your additional pieces of paper into smaller sizes. You can either fold your paper into thirds or into fourths like I'm doing, and then you're going to go ahead and cut those out. I did this by folding this paper in half, and then each of those halves in half again, and then folding it in half the other direction, as you can see me doing, to make 8 equal sized pieces. And again, it doesn't matter if you make 8 pieces or 6 pieces or 4 pieces, you're just gonna make some smaller pieces that you can work with to make trees. Once you have these rectangles cut out, we will be working on making them into squares. now that I have several smaller pieces to work with, I'm going to cut them into a square shape. Once you have a square shape, you're then going to take your square and fold it into a triangle. I'm folding my triangle in half again, just so I know where the center is. Then, with it open, like I show you here, you're going to take one edge and fold it down along that middle crease and do the same for the other edge. If you've ever made a paper airplane before, it's very similar to that. As you can see, I'm doing the same thing on each side. And this will show you that paper airplane shape that we were just talking about. I'm gonna fold it again into that center piece to make it even smaller. And all this is doing is giving our tree a little bit of dimension. We're gonna be able to pop her open, tuck in those extra little tail pieces you see at the bottom here, and fold them in, and we're gonna glue it so that our tree pops off from our construction paper. You can repeat that step as many times as you like with as many colors as you like and make as many trees as you want. Another special thing you can do is you can stack more than one of these folded trees on top of each other to make taller trees. As you can see, I'm picking a side to be flat. I'm using my glue stick. I'm putting a lot of glue and then I'm pressing down very firmly onto the paper so that it will stick. But the idea is to open it up underneath there so that it pops up off the page, as you can see me doing here. And again, you can make as many trees or as few as you would like. Take your time with the folds. That's really the trickiest part. And it's okay if your tree isn't perfectly folded. If you want to make yours a different way, you can look up some origami trees, 3D trees, and try another way. And again, for extra fun, try sliding one tree on top of the other, as you can see me doing here, to make your tree even taller and to give it more dimension. I'm also using a pencil or a paintbrush just to reach in and push down hard so I know that glue's sticking. I'm making some white trees, maybe they're all covered in snow. I'm also making some green trees, and I'm just gonna go ahead and fill out my paper with as many trees as I like along that snowy, hilly landscape. As you can see, I've finished with that, so I'm using a little bit of white paint and some water to dilute it a little bit, and I'm going to put a moon on my paper so that I don't forget to add my full moon later. And I'm also going to use that white paint that's diluted with the water to add some snow onto my painting. And you can do this very simply by just kind of flicking your paintbrush, of course very carefully, onto your paper. I have my moon painted, and now I'm just dotting some places where I want big chunks of snow. And now you can see I'm just flicking some additional snowy landscape here. This will make it look a little more natural and a little bit more realistic. It gives it the idea, the illusion that it's actually snowing, because none of that snow looks perfect. It's in different sizes and it's landing in different places. I'm going to actually add a little bit of blue paint as well to my moon to make it look a little bit more nighttime and a little bit more wintry. You can make your moon and your snow however you like. You might have something that looks a little bit like this, if you've been following along with me. I want to make mine a little more special, so I'm going to go ahead and add some extra paint and some glue, or not glue, just extra paint, that'll do. It's pretty sticky until it dries, onto parts of my tree and other parts of my painting. And I'm going to sprinkle in some of this white fleecing powder I have. You could use a glitter, anything you like if you would like to do this step with me. But this white fleecing powder is going to make it look like I have some fuzzy snow on my trees and in my scene. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now I'm going to just dust off the excess powder, and there you have it. Here is my winter scene with some clumps of snow. I hope you were able to follow along and you enjoyed this. But we're out of time. Are you ready to head back to the magic lamp and say goodbye to Cosette with me? All right, let's go together. And welcome back to the magic lamp, boys and girls. Did you enjoy the story of Little Honey Bear and the Smiling Moon? Wasn't the pictures and illustrations in that book just so beautiful? It might be hard to tell in this video, but they had this beautiful sparkle to them as well. So if you don't have this book, maybe you can go and borrow it from the library and see how those pages really come to life with that extra bit of sparkle in it. And how did you enjoy making a beautiful full moon wintry scene of your own? And with that added touch of those 3D pine trees. I found the trees a little bit tricky to fold just so and to get to stick onto my picture. But once I got that down, I was really pleased with how it came out. And I hope you were too. And I hope you'll continue to use your imagination and creativity every time you read a story and be inspired to go and create some new fun of your own. But just like always, it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you for coming to visit Cosette and I in our magic lamp. We hope to see you again soon. Until we do, take really great care of yourselves. Bye-bye.